Hey, what's up, guys? DJ here at Top Tech Cards and Games, and today we're going to play some Standard. Kaldheim just came out, and I built my first constructed deck with the format. I'm not playing a ton of new cards, but we got a couple different upgrades for Temur Ramp here. Kind of going for a more Genesis Ultimatum-based build, and let's just talk about the list a little bit. First off, we've got 4 Frostbites. I think this is a bit of an upgrade over some of the cards we were playing in the deck before, like Fire Prophecy or any other like really early game interaction. This is 2 damage, and it can be 3 if we've got 3 snow permits. So to go with that, we've got our snow basics. 2 Shatter Skull Smashings, a Glass Pole Mimic. This combos really nicely with our big dragons and Ultimatum, as well as just being another land. Bone Crusher, Cultivate, Llanowar Visionary, and I'm going to put Beanstalk over here. This is our ramp suite here, Cultivate, Visionary, and Beanstalk. Beanstalk's great because it's kind of a payoff too. It's pretty sick if you get to put it into playoff Ultimatum, and it plays really nicely with Terror of the Peaks as far as being a way to just nug our opponent to, for 12 or something in the really late game. Goldspan Dragon's awesome because our ramp takes us from 3 to 5 typically, and then Goldspan takes us from 5 to 7. Even if we don't have our land drop, or if they kill it and we make our land drop, we're going to get a treasure out of the deal so that we can cast our Ultimatum. Terror of the Peaks is just another really strong threat. You could definitely argue for playing Elder Gargaroth or something else in these slots. There's a lot of different options. But I like the feeling of Genesis Ultimatuming into like Terror, Glasspool Mimic, some other stuff, and just killing our opponent on the spot. Might not be the best way to build the deck, but it is definitely sweet. So we went with that. Then we've got our four ultimatums, and 3 Ugins. The mana base, it's a mixture of some pathways. We've got one of the new pathway in here. I had 2, but I wanted my Glasspool Mimic back in, so we swapped that out. A couple older pathways, 4 Triumphs, 4 Fabled Passages, and a bunch of basics. We're playing 10, which is kind of awkward because we definitely could play more of these pathways that are obviously just better. But between Beanstalk and Cultivate, we really need enough basics to resolve those effects and keep our deck ramping. There's definitely some other options for messing with this. I could even go into a 4th color to play Showdown with the Scalds. I want to say that's how what it's called. But I went with this. For our sideboard, we've got a Chainweb Arachneer for the rogue decks, 2 Negates for various control decks, 2 Dragonfires for some more aggressive decks. I don't think we need as much removal on the board since we've got our Frostbites in the main now. 2 Masked Vandals, 3 Disputes, an Ox, 3 Elder Gargaroths, and 1 Vivian Monster's Advocate. So that's the list. Let's go ahead and get into a standard event. And that is the deck. Oh, that's not how you add it, huh? Submit deck. There we go. Boom. All right, let's battle. I always love playing when new sets just come out. Just the experience of playing with all these different cards and stuff before everybody's kind of got their like total read on the meta before they've got everything all figured out. It's always a lot of fun. I know I'm not playing the most imaginative new deck, but Goldspan Dragon's definitely my favorite card in the set so far. We'll definitely go first. And I wanted to take as many opportunities as we can to play it. So this hand is not going to cut it. No ramp, 2 very late payoffs. Shatter Skull Smashing is our only interaction. Definitely going to have to mull that. All right, this is going to be a keep. We've got a little bit of interaction, a little bit of ramp. I'm going to put Beanstalk on the bottom, I think. Llanowar Visionary draws us a card, and we definitely need to find some action, but this hand has the pieces there. We just definitely need to draw fairly well. One thing that I don't like about like the more modern ramp decks in Magic is they just don't mulligan super well. It's not like their fault necessarily, but we can do here. But you're punished pretty heavily when you're just playing these like expensive search for a land cards if you get down on cards early. Okay, so our opponent foretold a card. Looks like they're playing some kind of blue-white control deck. I'm just going to keep playing our basics, not decide what we need to get off the pathway. We have 2 options here. We can Beanstalk, or we can Llanowar Visionary. If we Beanstalk, we guarantee we'll have mana to cast Goldspan Dragon next turn, whereas Llanowar Visionary could die, and we also don't have double red. So I'm going to go ahead and play the Beanstalk and get us a Mountain. That also leaves up Frostbite if our opponent is playing any creatures. One of the more frustrating things about playing during new set releases is that I have no idea what cards are in my opponent's decks most of the time. We can make kind of a judgment here just based off the cards that they're playing as far as what kind of cards are in their deck, but it's hard to say for sure. So the fact that they just played their mana, they didn't foretell another card and left everything up, makes me feel like this is a Sot coming. There's nothing we can really do to play around that, but I don't really want to jam my Goldspan into it either. I'm actually going to cast Llanowar Visionary, which has a chance of us not getting to use all of our mana very effectively, but I think that's what's going to be the best for us here. I'm not playing my land first because it's not like there's a quench or anything. Okay, so they let that resolve. This could have been Glimpse the Multiverse then. Solindi Vision, okay. Or they just didn't think it was worth countering the Visionary, which is totally reasonable as well. So there's a Sot coming. We don't have Ultimatum yet. You do need triple blue to cast Ultimatum. One of the awkward things is that Goldspan Dragon makes 2 of a single color off of its treasure. So if we do this as a blue, we could be stuck. But if the Llanowar Visionary sticks, we'll be okay either way. Control feels like a rough matchup. We're going to have to just kind of try to jam our cards through, I think. But mulliganing against them and being in a situation like this does not bode especially well for us. Now we know for sure there's a Sot coming over there, so it does not feel good to jam our Goldspan straight into that. I'm going to lead with Cultivate here. That's going to let us play both the Cultivate and, no, not and the Goldspan. I can't count. Well, that sucks. That was a terrible play. But we're going to ramp ourselves up for the next turn. Hopefully this isn't a Glimpse of the Multiverse down here, and they're going to be forced to just keep floating this mana. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure this is actually 2 copies of Sot coming, which is going to be really hard for us to force through. But 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana over here now. We can start casting our Beanstalks. We also have the mana to just hardcast Ugin. It is unfortunate that these Frostbites are both just dead cards, but what are you going to do? Tribe is interesting because we can get more mana, or we can save that just to cycle for another piece of gas. I'm going to go ahead and lead off by attacking with this Visionary and see if they have any interest in killing it. Okay, so I'm also just going to cast Beanstalk here. I assume this is getting countered, or they could let this resolve and then play a Doomscar on us. Okay, so I'm going to guess we're getting Doomscarred this turn. Do we want to play our land then? Because we'll still have 8 mana for Ugin in that case. Kind of a tough call. We just have a lot of kind of expensive cards in our deck. We want to be able to play multiple spells when we can. How else are we going to get through counters? Yeah, I'll play the Triumph. Behold the Multiverse, not Glimpse the Multiverse. Close enough. Top. That's never great for us. There's the Doomscar, okay. I wonder if I would have just jammed this Goldspan the first time if it would have gone through actually then. Stroke from hand, alright. We're wearing them down. We're totally going to get there. Another Emiria? Sure. Just going to have to jam into the counters now, see if we can get through enough of them eventually. Another Stroke from hand. That's not great. Forest, go. Opt, sure. These matches suck because you just sit here and lose for a really long time, rather than just having the game be over. Like I have all of this air in my deck. I'm getting very close to conceding, but the fact is, if we're able to get through an ultimatum that they can't stop, I mean, there's always a chance that you win the game. So they're looking for another Disdainful Stroke to play rather than using their Saw It Coming that's foretold. We're using the Saw It Coming, okay. Or I guess just a counter they could pay full price on. This is going to be better as a land than a spell, so I guess there's a chance we wanted to hold that to kill a Planeswalker, but I don't know. This doesn't feel like... Yeah, there's Dream Trawler. Ultimatum. Didn't quite get there on that one. We'll play it out for another turn or two, though, and see. I am going to hold the Glass Bowl because we can do something with this one. Even if we hit like a ultimatum into a tear, we can cast Glasspool Mimic on one of our dragons so that we can get a little bit more juice here, which I think is kind of what we're going to need to have any shot at winning this game, though they're going to have a billion life here. So that's going to be difficult. We could have checked them on that, made them discard a card instead of attacking, but I don't think that's really relevant here. Okie dokie, that leaves them with 1 mana up. That's fine. Gravenlore's another really sweet card. There's a lot of good cards for this blue-white control deck. I mean, these cards are all very good. Yeah. Hit me for 10. Gain 10. Sure. 11. Don't care. Alright. Don't let me down, deck. Please? You know, we don't need to sweat. We'll just, please. We'll ask very politely. That's all. Gold Span Dragon. Well. I guess we'll have 2 of these, and this doesn't gain toughness ever, so I mean, our plan will be to double block the Dream Trawler. Okay. All right. Maybe they'll forget the Dream Trawler can do that. Seems unlikely. But, like, maybe. Alright, didn't expect that. It's interesting. They valued getting that off the board more than tapped out. Come on. Come on. I'm going to play this so we can thin a land out. Maybe the information we get from holding that is better, but... don't know, I'm not really here to sit on that. I just don't think our cards, like our good cards aren't resolving either way. It's not like they're not going to counter Genesis Ultimatum because they think we might have something in hand, you know? Doesn't particularly matter from this point. Okay, sure. Bottom, bottom. Okay. Ultimatum. No. Oh, we're so dead, but let's just get on the board. Cool. All right, let's start siding. How much time did that burn? Let's see here. So, negates. Not going to hate Mystical Dispute. Vivian will be good. Ox will be good. Frostbites are out. Shatterskull is kind of one of our lands, so I'm not going to shave those. As is Glasspool. Cut a couple of Terrors. Cut an Ugin. So do we want these 2 Ugins, I guess, is the next question. It's very expensive, and it doesn't just end the game by being on the board. But it does play very well against... Maybe we want these Mass Vandals, too. They showed us some Banishing Lights. Okay, so if we cut all of the Ugins, keep the Terrors in, and then bring in the Masked Vandals, what's that look like? So we need to cut a couple more cards here then. Are we oversiding at this point? What did we do? Took out these, took out Ugin. Ugin doesn't really impact the board the way we need it to against them, so that's fine. We on the play, so Dispute should be pretty good. I can shave a Llanowar Visionary, and maybe we still cut 1 Terror of the Peaks. Or do we need those hits once Ugin's gone? We probably really want those hits. Maybe we go with 2 Disputes. It doesn't hit Doomscar. Maybe we just do 1 Mass Vandal. Let's do that until we know a little bit more about their deck. 1 Mass Vandal should be helpful, but we don't want to brick on them either. Okay, well, this should get a little bit better post board. I mean, our threats are a little bit better. We've got a little bit less air, a little more interaction. I will play first. Hopefully we don't have to maul this time. So that's an easy keeper, so that's a good start. I'm going to lead on Forest. I guess we could have taken out some Bone Crushers, but I really like having threats that we can get on the board and force them to interact with us. No, I am going to play that one as a mountain. Or as a red, excuse me. I guess that's definitely not a mountain. A4 telecard. So I'm considering just firing this Bone Crusher off at their face. I'm not going to cast it next turn, but I'm also very unlikely to need the Stomp at any point in this game. And I don't mind playing face up with it, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Okay, we drew Ultimatum. That's good for us. Good for us in the sense that that's, you know, one of the threats we really want to have. I am still going to Cultivate this turn rather than playing... Well, they're tapped out. Actually, I think I am going to use Beanstalk this time. This is 4, so 3... Nah, Cultivate's just too good, and we can combo like a Beanstalk into Bone Crusher turn, since the Beanstalk lands come into play untapped. Second red, and I'm going to go ahead and get another blue now, since we'll need 3 eventually anyway. I'll put the mountain into play. Next turn, I'm going to look to do Beanstalk into the Bone Crusher, hopefully. Our opponent bottomed. Main phase opting. They're probably looking for lands. Goes without saying, if they whiff there, which they had to play a tap land, it's very good for us. Fertile Footsteps. Go ahead and grab a forest. Play another island. Or blue source. Cast our giant. Okay, so now we've got a ton of mana, and we have a threat that they're going to have to deal with eventually. 4 damage does clock them reasonably well. It's not super fast, but it will kill them. And assuming they deal with it, we get to resolve our Genesis Ultimatum, which is really good, obviously. Come on. Cycling Shark Typhoon. So they are looking for lands. They're also finding lands, but I mean, I think that's all right. So we have to ask ourselves the question here of, do we want to play this Genesis Ultimatum and risk getting Wrathed? I mean, I'm always jamming. I'm a jammer. What can I say? Yeah, I mean, it's obviously worth it when you end up with another one in your hand. I'm going to just nug the shark here. And then bash in for 4. This also ties their mana up for another turn, which is good. Glass Casket, sure. It leaves 2 mana up. Second Casket, sure. So that's 13 damage. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ninth land, that's 14 damage. Okay. A lot of caskets, so I think we do want the second Vandal. Run the draw. That makes Dispute a little bit less good. I am going to take another one of those out. But I think other than that, this looks pretty good. Dispute is still good. They stumbled there, so it would have been better than in a lot of situations. No, I think that's right, though. These decks just want to make so many of their land drops throughout the game. It just gets hard to kind of resolve one for full value, and especially when you're trying to cast gigantic spells. Three lands, negate, double Goldspan, Mask Vandal. We don't have any ramp here, but we do have a negate as well as the Goldspans. There's no early threat, though. I think I'm going to mulligan. Okay, this is better. So the question is, do I put Beanstalk back or do I put Dispute back? If I put Dispute back, I have a couple different ways to ramp up to Terror. We don't have to worry about missing land drops. Dispute is good, but I want to make sure my deck is doing what it's supposed to do. I think we probably keep the Dispute. The thing is, like, you don't... If we're trying to keep Dispute up to protect our Terror, we don't really want to play it on 5 anyway. We want 6 mana. So then the second ramp spell becomes very good. But I think this is the keep. I'm going to leave a tap Triumph here. Another tap land. Okay. play a Fabled Passage and fetch a tap land. Keep Mystical Dispute up in case they play something. I wonder if we were supposed to only keep the one Vandal. It's just a reactive card. I am going to grab Mountain here. Goldspan, okay. Play this as a blue source and cultivate. Definitely grab Mountain. Island Mountain, or do I want second green here? I always have Fabled Passage to get another green anyway. Put the second mountain in place so we have all these double red dragons sitting in our hand. Cycling Shark Typhoon for 0. Are they missing land drops again? Oh no, opponent, I'm so sorry. Alright, well they've given us an opportunity to get in the Goldspan, keep Dispute up, and they are conceding. Okay. Wow, I did not think that that's how smoothly games 2 and 3 were going to go, but your opponent misses some land drops and suddenly you're very, very favored. Okay, so that's game 1. We are going to play through the full event with the deck. We'll see what our final record is, but that's it for game 1. We'll be back with the other game soon. Okay, and we are back for game number 2. Let's go ahead and get this started. It's got this in front of me too here. Okay. So 1L, let's see if we can keep a nice run going here, or if we'll get a little bit stumped. What are you doing, kitty? Okay, sorry about that. Big mess down here right now. I'll play first. Alright, so 2 lands. We have a way to ramp, we have some payoffs, and then 2 pieces of interaction. I'm kind of in for this. We've got our colors. Llanowar Visionary is the worst ramp spell in the deck, but we've got a lot of interaction. We can just play like a fair grindy game up to Terror and then have the Genesis Ultimatum later. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't played a ton with the deck. I'm not sure if this is a good keep or not, but yeah, gotta learn somehow. Alright, Triome go. And you guys will have to let me know what you think about the structure of doing the videos this way. If you like all the games being played like this in one longer video, or if you like kind of single couple games here and there. I don't know, I like the league here because it lets us go through and play like a full thing out and just see kind of how the deck performs. Okay, so just trying to decide what color I want this to be. Obviously need double red, but I also obviously need triple blue. I'm going to play it as red because I just think it matters a little bit less how quickly we find our other blue sources. And once we start searching for basics, we can kind of do whatever we want. Plus the interaction with Goldspan is a lot easier when it just needs to make double Boldu off the treasure. Trail of Crumbs. Okay, we really need to draw land here. Awesome. That's perfect. We're not like in trouble, but we do need to keep making land drops. A little bit punished here with the Shadow Skull smashing, but that's still fine. We still have single blue off this and double red off these two. Just makes Mountain a very undesirable. No, speak of the devil. I'm just going to play Terror here. They're playing mono green. I mean, they can play land fight this somehow, I'm sure, but I don't know what these decks look like exactly anymore. And we need another snow land before we can Frostbite the Mammoth, so definitely think this is the best way to spend our mana here. Attack for 5. I'll take it. Wicked Wolf. That's not great for us. By not great, I mean that's really bad for us. But, you know, hey. Okie dokie. So they've got no food left, so this is a lightning bolt now. 2, 6. We're getting a little bit punished as we get up here in lands for this not being blue. I'm going to play this right now while I can and get this Bone Crusher into play. And might as well pump for 2 with the Llanowar Visionary. If the Llanowar Visionary survives, we're 2 mana away from playing Ugin. Great Henge is a tough one, just a hard card to beat. They have cards, or are they just gaining their life? Which is Oven, sure. No Goose? Love Struck Beast. No, I'll just take it. I mean, Henge is definitely a tough card to defeat, so I'm going to play this tapped and then kind of tank for a sec here because I'm not going to trade my Visionary next turn. Do I need to keep Bone Crusher back to chump block? I'm not certain, but I think I'm just not going to risk it. I think I'm in too bad of a position if something happened where I needed to block with the Visionary, and I need to be able to pay 3 life for smashing with my current hand in order to get Ugin down. And we are still short of blue from Genesis Ultimatum, so I'm going to jump here. We're hoping our opponent extends a little bit further into our board, or into our Ugin, rather. Now, this is by no means amazing for us, because that Great Henge is still going to keep pumping cards into their hand. But this at least gives us a fighting chance. So 3, 2, 4. Okay, I have to minus 4 Ugin. Alright, we need to find blue mana. We can Genesis Ultimatum. And then I think we're really in this game. We can combine these 2 cards to kill something because Great Henge is going to keep the cards out of Ugin range. But, like, that's okay. I don't think we're too bad. I don't like... Well, I like our spot. This game can be very swingy from here because Great Henge is obviously a card that gives them a ton of resources. See, like, and even this is out of Ugin range already. So, into Thrashy B. Okay. Beanstalk Giants. It's a draw. So Beanstalk's going to let us get our other blue, which is good. So I'm just going to start by doing that. Now we need to decide how we want to play this situation. We can attempt to keep our Ugin around, but what good does that do us? If we go plus, deal 3, Ugin goes up to 5. We stomp, cast Bone Crusher. Then we're chumping the Lovestruck Beast to keep Ugin around on 5. I think that's actually going to be worth it. But what if they Witch's Oven away the Brontodon? Okay, let's lead with Stomp. Okay, so they didn't sack it there, which is good, because that means we still get our Bone Crusher. I know they get a food here, that's fine. This leaves us with an Ugin in play for the turn that we ultimatum. And a Ugin will be at worst on the current board for loyalty, so we can minus it first, even if we have to kill it. I like the mono green deck a lot. I mean, just it gets to take such good advantage of Great Henge, which is just such a powerful card. Let's see. So if they go face with everything, I wonder if I left myself too dead. To a kill spell, because I am dead here if they have removal. I might have been too greedy, knowing that it was going to get to ultimatum the next turn, but I don't know. So chump there. Alright, I'm going to play the odds on us maybe hitting another Ugin into this first. And cast Genesis Ultimatum. Take all of our cards. I'm going to use Glassball Mimic to make another Goldspan Dragon. Oh, they enter simultaneously. Yeah, that's on me. Oops. Well, that sucks. That card would have been good in our hand. Okay. Attack with Goldspan. Play Pathway. Doesn't matter. And cast Terror of the Peaks. Okay, so next turn we can get 12 damage out of this. Does this have haste? No. I don't know why for some reason I thought that might. That would have been horrifying. Okay, 24. 4, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 20. 23? Crap. No, 12. 24. Hopefully my math's good. I don't care. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 21, 24. Yeah, okay. Okay. Edge that one out. Alright, sideboarding. Want some outs to Great Henge for sure. Deck's weird because its creatures are very thick. Do we want Dragonfires? And do we want Gargaroth? Does that fight on the board better than some of these? So let's think for a sec. The creatures are just big in general. I don't think we want these. So then it's the removal and the Vandals. Okay, take out a Visionary. It's okay to slow down a little bit in these games, but I do think Ugin is just a really good card against their deck. It's very hard for them to beat, so I don't really want to take out too much of my game plan actually here. On the draw, they have Gooses, so I do think we want Frostbites. Take out Glasspool Mimic. Maybe one Ultimatum and one Terror. Let's try that and see. Hi, Katie. What's up? How are you? Let's keep. Turn one token, no problem. Take one. Okay, can't click. Okay, we did it. Beat the boss. I'm going to grab this mountain in case we draw one of our removal spells, because I don't want to pay 3 life for a red if that happens. Play another Snowland. Take Uno. They're just going to cast their beast? Sure. Timing on drawing Bone Crusher is a little bit unfortunate there. So we do have to think a little bit here because we have 2 options. We can just play our Beanstalk, follow the game plan, get a little more mana, cast a Goldspan next turn, maybe into the Bone Crusher. Or we can just cast Bone Crusher on this and try to turn off their Lovestruck Beast. I think I'm going to take the more proactive line that uses my mana. Although I could just play this tapped if I did this. What are we doing next turn then? Just ramping again? Yeah, it doesn't get us anywhere. Okay. So currently this will be my second red, so that's what I'm going to stick to with this hand. And I will get my second blue to start setting us up for the ultimatum. Take 6. Play our good friend Alan. Kill this before they go to attackers. Excuse my phone. So if we fetch differently, we would be able to cast this ultimatum off of Goldspan. But I don't think it's a problem that we can't. I'm just going to play our other Goldspan and get in for 8, make ourselves 2 treasures. I'm at a little bit of a risk of dying to some pump spells if they had like, and I don't know what this deck's construction looks like, so maybe this is a bad play, but I'm going to get this Bone Crusher in play to block in case the need arises. I don't know, something like land 1/1 Primal Might for 3 or whatever the X pump and fight spell. I guess they'd be, no, they wouldn't be a mana short for that, so I guess that still kills us here because they just killed the Bone Crusher, so I'll jump. Looks like that's just lethal, right? Frostbite the Goose, attack for game. Oh, they can just gain the life, sure. Well, I mean, I guess if I must. Back-to-back games, Uganing for Xaxes. Ugan's not bad. 8 mana deal 3 is like not really what you're looking for, but it's not bad. All right, and that is the second game of the league. 2-0 records so far. Claim our little rewardsies here. Nice, nice. And a couple more to go. Let's see if we can get all 5, right, boys? All right, round 3. That green matchup felt pretty good. That's not a deck I've played against a lot, but I think that, I mean, Ugin is just really strong there as a Wrath. It's very helpful for stabilizing, and they don't interact well with our big flyers. I'm not sure if that deck plays any of, like, the ram through, like, prey upon style cards. They could be really good for the deck, I guess, but I haven't really seen any in there from those games, so I don't know. Goldspan Dragon continues to impress a lot. You can get stuck on your lands and still end up with some pretty big turns because of it. That's pretty cool. Four haste flyers are just actually really strong cards too. Like it's easy to forget with how much text is on Magic cards these days that like just that part of the card is still really, really good. Obviously the mana rebate on it is what makes it an insanely strong card, but the just the 4/4 haste flyer is already a pretty good card. Oh, cool. I was getting ready to restart because it felt like a minute queue was way too long. A draw. A minute queue was way too long. I see. Service, please. Well, let's try that again. Hello, Meowsy. How are you? What you doing, bud? I have 4 cats, so I'm sorry if they're everywhere in these in the back. But hi, here, come here. Let me show you off. This is Blue. Blue is chunky. He's fluffy also, so you know, everyone say hi to Blue. sorry, I didn't mean to get you stuck on the cord. Huh. Arena might just be having some problems or something. Maybe this is not going to work out. Yep. Wizard 43 must be the person you get matched against if there's no game to be had. Oh. Okay. I mean, I guess we go to 4. All right, that's a fantastic 4, though. Crap. I don't know. Did this pair me against a bot? I totally am playing against a bot. I wonder if this will count for my things or not. Second red. What is happening? What is going on? Okay. I'm not going to crack anything here, so if this dies, I can just play my ultimatum. Okay. Oh no, I clicked too fast. All right, well, that's fine. Yeah, whatever. This thing is quite large, actually, though. It's funny. Okay. I don't think this is a real game. I'm just... I don't know. They're acting like a bot, but this doesn't... I don't know. This is weird. They didn't play anything. I don't know what the sideboard for. I guess I could have brought negates in. It's like a big red. I don't know. Just passed. This isn't a strong keep in particular, but it casts my dragon, and Cultivate will help set me up for the Genesis Ultimatum, so I'm going to keep hands like this more often than not, I think. Especially when I don't have the impression my opponent's deck is especially aggressive. Well, yeah, it's a tough one to beat. And by to beat, I mean that's a tough one for Genesis Ultimatum. Not really a tough one to beat. Okay. I feel like I'm being unjustly punished for that. Graveyards and libraries. Okay, so I can still cast my adventures from out of the game. So this is still 7 mana draw 3, which is not not ideal, but not terrible by any stretch. Have to get double mountain here. So mana draw 5. Yeah. I can put lands into play too. Of course, that's not so. I can put the lands into play also. Take 4, go to 12. Another Bone Crusher. I guess I should have cultivated first. That's just like the more mechanically correct way to play that turn, and just play the land. But I mean, who cares? They can know I have a forest. I'm going to play the forest next turn. I'll trade off to preserve life total. I'm hoping they play some more stuff into the Ugin, but if not, I just nug the Bone Crusher. If they don't extend any further and I draw a creature, I can always go Terror into a creature, kill the Bone Crusher. I don't know. Does this hit walkers or just creatures? Walkers too. Okay. It's worth keeping in mind because I know they've got a bunch of Soul Seers in their deck. It's unnecessarily fancy sequencing, but that's fine. Just play your card. Okay. Hoping to stabilize here. We've got the Frostbite up with the treasure if they play something that we can kill. Maze-Mind Tome, okay. Play Tear. Play Cultivate. Just thin some lands out of our deck. Look to play this Ultimatum as a draw 5 next turn. I did... No, there's no way for me to keep 2 red lands up. Or a red land up, rather. Just have to play that off the treasure. Yeah, sure, man, you can scry one. I feel like they should have drawn a card. They had the mana. Okay, that kills my Terror. So the question here is, do I even want to put the land into play? Since it's a Triumph. I am going to put it in since I have another Ultimatum in my grip. So one of these cards is going to end up being dead, but I'd rather it be Cultivate. Ox. Sure. Second Ox. Yeah, so this is big red. Do I want to Frostbite this now? I mean, Ugin can just kill it. No, I'm going to draw a bunch of cards with this. I might as well just get this out of my hand. I don't want to attack with this for fear of some hasty card that I'm not thinking of. I do want to play this so I can block Goldspan Dragon. So I have 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have the mana to do both. I only have 1 red though. Or will only have 1 red left. I can take a gamble here. I've got a lot of red mana, but not that much. Okay. Let's not get crazy then. Keep up my Frostbite, and I will play this one tapped so that I have more red next turn should I need it. I have this to block now, so I will attack with the Visionary, put my opponent down to 7, and dead on board a couple different ways. Okay. Weird game. Fire Prophecy this thing. Sure. Cycle a card. Got it. Okay. Okay. I mean, I have to find something still to kill them. There we go. Okay, well, that was not a bot. The first game was just so weird. They just didn't do anything. But I guess that's kind of the risk with that deck. So we advance to 3-0. All right, 2 more games to go. Well, potentially only 2 more. Hopefully, not 3. It'd be awesome to 5-0, but we'll see what happens. So we'll be back with the next game soon. All right, let's go ahead and queue up for round 4 now. Sorry, I realized that the last couple of videos didn't have the game audio on at all. So that's going to be in these ones now. Hopefully that makes things seem a little bit smoother. We'll see. So we're going to be on the draw. I don't think this is particularly keepable. No ramp, 2 of our heavy cards. We have a removal spell, but I think we have to mull that. Okay, that's a keep. Gonna go ahead and put back the Genesis Ultimatum, I think. This hand casts turn 4 Terror of the Peaks pretty reliably. And yeah. I think it's going to bridge us into doing something useful more than any of the other options there. I'm going to place Forest Pass. Alright, well, we'll Fable Passage and get a Mountain. Is it Elves, or is this the Death Touch deck? Let's just fetch our Mountain and let that go. Triome. As much as I would like to get my tap land down, I really want to leave up Bone Crusher this turn so that I can enable Frostbite to kill something like the Cheville, or however the heck you pronounce that has 3 toughness. Faceless Haven. Is this not the like the poison death touch deck? Is this just some kind of green black like rock strategy? No, it is the death touch deck. Okay. Ah, it's so unfortunate, but those things have 3 toughness. Alright. Nothing we really want to do there. So let's think. I really just want to spend my mana. But if I play this Visionary, I'm not going to block with it ever. It's just not really a trade that I want to make. I do get another card, and next turn I will have access to a couple of red mana, so I can do like Bone Crusher plus Frostbite one of these. I'm wondering if I should just Frostbite one while I can. Nah, I'm just not particularly close to dying, and I like any trade where they play removal on this card, really, so that seems fine. Because then they're not advancing their board much, and I can get both of these cards down next turn. Okay, that's 6 poison. Hadn't thought about questing be easy. Pay 3. Cast Bone Crusher Giant. And pass turn. Good game. Yeah, we'll mute you. Ram throw. Okay. Okay, just making sure I didn't miss anything here. Okie dokie. So we don't have enough to go Goldspan into the Bone Crusher if we want to just keep our blocker in play. But I'm not too worried about taking one from this. If they had another Questing Beast, well, no, it's legendary, so they couldn't have just slammed it. But my life total's not really... I mean, it's like at risk, but we're not going to die to Questing Beast in this on their own next turn. And they're not going to have the mana to also get the Death Touch Poisoner into play at the same time. Okay, get Ugin down. This is triple summon, so they can activate that. And this is definitely getting threatening, but not enough that I am going to stop like proactively advancing my board. Binding of the Old Gods is very good there. So kind of an interesting question whether we want to swing here or not. If we attack, next turn if we draw a land, we can go clone, play Bone Crusher, but they're just dead anyway then. I'm actually going to keep this up, and I will block this Faceless Haven if they attack with it. Questy B, sure. Look at it. I really should have looked at my mana there and figured out what made the most sense, but nah. And attack with the Terror for lethal there, so alright. Game 2, so this is some kind of, you know, infect, poison, like death touch thing. So I want Scorching Dragonfires. They have Questing Beasts. This interacts like reasonably well against Questing Beasts because we'll just get extra cards in the trade. Probably better than Terror, whereas Terror just kind of kills them. Yeah, I'm kind of in for bringing in Gargaroth and taking out Terror of the Peaks just so we can actually like block their creatures. Nothing in here interacts very favorably with a Questing Beast other than Terror just killing it. But, I mean, we're in like a decent spot if we have the mana to play, you know, Gargaroth plus another creature already. And then just trim a Llanowar Visionary. It's a low confidence decision there, but I don't know. We'll see how it feels. Maybe we could have taken out ultimatums, thinking there's a chance they bring in. I'll keep a bunch of ramp and Goldspan. There's a chance they bring in the card that makes so we can't cheat cards into play from our deck. Maybe I'm not supposed to play that because it tells them I don't have a Frostbite here when priority press. I don't know. I guess if they don't play a creature, it doesn't reveal that, but you get what I'm saying. If it was Shock, it tells them I don't have Shock. That's unfortunate. Can't do anything with the mana that gets left up from Beanstalk if we do this, so let's go ahead and put Mountain into play and get our second Forest. So it gives Planeswalkers their Death Touch for Planeswalkers. And drains one. Okay. Okay. Couldn't play this, and we'll get in with Goldspan. Make ourselves a treasure. And keep up Dragonfire / Frostbite. We're going to need to find some more action eventually, though. I mean, Beanstalk does make a big creature. I'm going to play this for double red and Dragonfire down this guy. People are on to how nutty Goldspan Dragon is, man. Getting Soul Shattered. Getting Soul Shattered game 1. And we just draw another one because we are masterful, so, you know. Situation where I wish I had another basic mountain in my deck here. So that I could leave Frostbite up and play one of my ramp spells. So just going to get in for 4, and I'm going to go ahead and play this Fabled Passage and grab our second island. We have our third in hand, so if we peel Genesis Ultimatum, we are sitting pretty. I'd rather do this than play one of these ramp spells. My life total is under a little bit of pressure, and I would love if they animate this thing so that I can just nugget with Frostbite and keep my board, or keep the board pretty simplified, and myself pulling ahead on the race at this point. I don't know why I'm taking 2 red, but I guess there's no punishment for that, so why not? Ram through. Sure. I will take 1, and I will grab that island. Well, I don't really want to play this Beanstalk because I don't want to block the Hooded Blightfang with it, really. So I'm going to go Cultivate, and poor sequencing there. Just showing them an extra land card that I didn't need to, but I don't think that's very consequential. This gets all of our basics out of our deck, so at least we have a lot of good draws left. 1 Fabled Passage down, 2, 3, 4. So we're down to 11 cards that are just lands left only, so not a ton. And I mean, yeah, you know, summarily rewarded. Learned my lesson last time about putting Glasspool Mimic into play with it. I'm going to go ahead and Ugin their face here. Well, you know, actually, they haven't played a creature in a while. I wonder if I should Ugin and then play this for red and Frostbite it. Let's do that. And I'm going to go ahead and use my treasure to develop a second Bone Crusher here. And start putting the clock on our opponent pretty hard. Soul Shatter, sure. This card's pretty good against our deck. Binding, sure. Another Ugin. Okay. Bone Crusher. And I'm actually going to put the Beanstalk in play instead, just because it's lethal next turn. This card's really good. I really like it. Alright, so we'll play Ugin. -4. Okay, yeah, and then play a land and kill them with Beanstalk. And there we go, up to 4-0. We've got one more round left in the league, so, or event, whatever they're called on Arena, or one more win left. So hopefully we can get this one done in the next game and go for the full 5-0. So we'll be back with the next game soon. All right, let's try to get this done. Why is this not pulling any sound? There might just not be any right now. So, 4-0. Let's see if we can... Yeah, there we go. Cool. If we can run this all the way up through the 5-0, or if we're going to have to really feel the sweat and go for a last round. This looks like a snap keep to me. We've got enough lands to play our spells, a piece of interaction early, some ramp, and an Ugin to hopefully top off and close the game out. I'm going to lead with the Fabled Passage here just to make sure our lands all come into play on tap. Roggen Triumph, okay. Probably going to get Island off of this one. And then play this as a mountain next turn, or as a red source. Yeah, especially since we drew the Genesis Ultimatum, we need to get enough blue sources. So go ahead and do that. Pathway is a red and pass our turn. Hold up Bone Crusher. Is our opponent the blue-red flash deck? I don't know if that deck plays Triumph or not usually. So let's just think about how we're going to use our mana. Do we have any desire to just pop this off for 2 damage? Nah, it doesn't really seem worth it. Play that. Fortunately, we missed our land drop. Or not missed our land drop, but we're missing our next land drop. Which is tough. I think this is going to die if we just cast it. So I'm going to go ahead and Beanstalk Fertile Footsteps for a land. Not sure this resolves. Well, that's good. I was aimlessly clicking, but mountain was what I wanted. That makes any of our lands off the top live draws for Goldspan Dragon. Cycling Shark Typhoon to make a 1/1. Okay. They have Lofty now, that makes it a lot better. Transmogrify. Okay, so this is that pile, for lack of a better thing to call it. Alright, well, let's go ahead and Beanstalk here. I'm going to grab another blue source and play our Triumph tapped. And pass the turn. So untap green or blue source lets us cast Genesis Ultimatum next turn, so that's pretty good. If we miss on that, we can play Goldspan, attack, and perhaps cast Llanowar Visionary if our opponent doesn't kill Goldspan first. If we draw a different land, like another untapped red source, we'll still be able to do that play even if they kill Goldspan Dragon. This is Brick. Everyone say hi to Brick. I've got a lot of cats. Raven's Warning makes a token, gives you a card, and then lets you tutor. Okay. I don't know that we're going to see a better opportunity to use this Bone Crusher, so I'm going to kill this bird here. Okay. Yeah, I just don't see a line where we win the game that doesn't start like this. So interesting that it resolved. I'm just not sure what their deck is made up of, I guess. I mean, I know we've got token makers, we've got transmogrifies. We've got some number of fatties. I don't know if that's just Dream Trawler. I don't know if this is just like an Omen of the Seas that's held up right now. Could be Omen of this. No, Omen of the Sun's 3 mana. Alright, well, let's get our token. We get in for 4. So this might be a little bit greedy, but I am going to cast Llanowar Visionary here. We haven't made our land drop. If Goldspan survives, it still is going to produce mana next turn anyway. And that's not what we were looking for exactly, but that's alright. I don't think we'll die this turn. I think it's very unlikely that our opponent can draw 10 extra cards. Well, 9 extra cards, I guess, is already going to do 1. And I'm not so worried about the life totals here. There's definitely an argument to be made for not playing this, because if I decide to Ugin to kill this Dream Trawler... Okay, alright. You can go up on the desk. Sure, buddy. If I have to Ugin to kill the Dream Trawler, I can't talk, it'll kill both of these, but I really thought making my land drop was worth the risk, and just using all the mana that I had there. I think at this point we are under a bit of duress on our life total, though, obviously. This will hit for at least 5 next turn, which, you know, 4 cards is still a lot to draw, but, you know, it's definitely not out of the range of possible outcomes for our opponent to draw enough to just kill us. So, we have to make the decision now whether we want to jam the Ugin, clear the board and see if that's good enough, or go for some of this. I guess we don't have to make that decision yet. We're going to attack with Goldspan first because we need the treasure. Yeah. I could have attacked with the Visionary too. Perhaps that would have been better. I wasn't sure if it's worth playing around like an instant speed token maker or anything. I don't want this to die. Hit for 4. All right, so I just don't think I'm greedy enough to go for it. I think I'm just going to play the Ugin. And our opponent has negate. That's going to be that game. So let's go to game 2. So our opponent's on a kind of combo-y, transmogrify stuff deck. They've got some counters. They've got some sagas. Let's just think for a second. Because their tokens were Shark Typhoon and the Raven that we saw. I'm going to guess because they're white, they were playing the White Omen as well. Just don't think that's worth keeping in. Let's bring in some negates and some disputes. From one of these. Dealing with Dream Trawler. Gargoth actually does a decent job of presenting a threat into Dreamy Tea. Maybe we keep one Terror. Could leave the other Visionary in, but I do like Terror of the Peaks. This is just a really good card. I don't know if this is the right axis to even be fighting them on, to like try to put an Elder Gargaroth in play and then block their Dream Trawler, but it doesn't seem bad. Bone Crusher's not great either, but I guess I'll keep them in. I'm not sure what sort of interaction they might have in their deck. Okay. Ooh, crap, I just submitted 61 cards. Nuts. Well, that's alright. Not exactly punished with this draw. I mean, we've got a lot of ramp. We've got an Ugin. Like, I'm definitely keeping this every time, but it is scary. I mean, at turn 4 Dream Trawler against this hand, we're a little bit behind pace on them. So opponent goes to 6. Go Triome Pass. Play one of the Smashings as a land next turn. Alright, I'll play the island, actually. Drawing Bone Crusher makes me think it's worth keeping this up just in case they were to play a cheaper token spell than I'm thinking of that makes like 1 token. They did not, and I don't mind in this spot paying 3 life to cultivate. I don't think 3 life against a deck like this particularly is going to like make the difference for the game. I could play the Visionary, but same thing as the other game. I do feel like it's just going to get hit if I do so. We already have double red, and we don't want to short ourselves too much on red sources, plus we have the Shatter Skull. Or flood ourselves on red sources, rather, too much. If we need to cast Genesis Ultimatum, I'm going to go ahead and not grab a mountain. Getting our second force isn't too bad if we need to do like a double spell turn. Birth of Meletus. Okay, so that makes an 0-4. So our removal doesn't particularly matter against that one. So we've got 5 mana. You go to 6. Next turn we'll have access to 7. Yeah, I don't think there's any any real reason for us to just like develop a Bone Crusher here. I'm just going to go ahead and cultivate again, grab Forest Island again, I suppose, and put second Forest into play. And pass turn. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have the Transmogrify here. Okay, a whiff on our opponent's end. That's good for us. So, this is not something that I expected to be asking myself. Am I supposed to Shatter Skull Smashing the wall token? Because they get a Plains next turn. That turns Transmogrify on. They haven't found any blue, so they can't stop us from doing that. They would need to find another token, and this just delays a turn until we can cast Ugin. I'm going to do it. If they flash in the white token maker, Omen, that sucks. This was not a good play then. This may have been too greedy. But I think this gave us the best chance to go into turn 8 very much so ahead on the board, or rather at parity anyway. And I think that's something that's going to definitely help us win the game more than playing some Elvish Visionaries, Llanowar Visionaries, and potentially, yeah, wasting a spell just to cycle there. And just potentially having to wipe them off the board with Ugin. It's possible after playing these games out and just thinking a little bit more that we might not even want... Oh, that searches the plains when you play it, not on the last chapter. Well, that was a mistake on my... Well, I still don't think that was a mistake. But I did have the card a little bit wrong there. This is an interesting spot for sure. So they're going to play another Birth of Meletus. That's where they get their planes. Oops. They drew Temple for turn. Okay. I'm just going to get Ugin into play and start bolting their face. I can start using all these cards to apply pressure after this. Obviously, they can have Transmogrify this turn. But I don't think I care too much about that here. I get to just wipe that up with Ugin, and they'll have to go again, basically. Raven's Warning. Make a bird, sure. So I have 8. Goldspan will put me up to 10. I have Ugin's Lightning Bolt effect if I want to use it. Let's attack with Goldspan. Give our opponent the opportunity to block if they would like to. Okay. I do want to tick this up because I think the -10 is going to be really powerful. So we're going to kill the bird. And I am going to use both of my Bone Crushers to kill this wall. Next turn I get to draw a million cards with Ugin and put a million permanents into play. And I think we'll be alright at that point. But for right now, I do think this is good. I do wonder how much we need to worry about overextending on the board, actually. I didn't think about it. This could definitely be a deck that plays Doomscar. But I mean, even if they Doomscar us, like, we still got extra cards out of it, and I think we're quite alright with that. Our life total's high. We'll have these Bone Crushers still available to play at a later time if we want to. Foretell. See that? That could definitely be a Doomscar. Like, I mean, I don't care. When you can ultimate an Ugin, you do it, right? But oh, that's 8. Which of these lands don't we want? Okay, they're dead. That was sick. Oh, with the terror that we accidentally left in. There we go. Oh, no, Frostbite that we left in. Okay. Yeah, see, all according to plan with the terror at the peaks then. That's what we were trying to do. So what do we do about these Bone Crusher Giants? It's not bad on the bird. It's pretty bad on Birth of Meletus. What are you doing? Alright, whatever. This is just so bad against the Dream Trawler, and it seems like this deck is just a Dream Trawler deck, basically. I guess this can chump Dream Trawler pretty effectively. Maybe we take one of these out. Still keep 3 in. Just doesn't seem like the matchup where this is really going to shine. I don't want to go down too low on ramp stuff. I think 10 is still good. Llanowar Visionary doesn't seem great, like I mentioned, but I think that's okay to keep. Do I want another Terror? Do I want Vivian? Terror blocks Vivian just fine, too. This is good against Doomscar, which I get the feeling they're a Doomscar deck after thinking about it a little bit. Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll run it out with this. Sure. One sec. What are you doing back there? You good? Brick. All right. Weird cat. So we will not be keeping the 7 non-land, the no-lander. That's the word. I apologize. My cat's losing his poop over there. I'll keep this. We need to draw a land, but that's okay. I'll put Genesis Ultimatum away. I think it's pretty hard to lose just with a bunch of negates against this deck, though I'm normally more about keeping proactive hands, but we've got ramp spells. We'll get an extra card deeper here, and I do think 2 negates it's going to be really hard to lose against. Transmogrify combo. Sweet deck, by the way. I do like what our opponent's putting down. Another land. That's good. I'm not like a big... that's too many forests. It's fine, but too many forests. I'm not a big arena sleeves person. I kind of vibe with the regular Magic card back. These are kind of cool. Alright, I'm going to negate that so we can use our mana. This way we know for sure our opponent can't do token plus transmog next turn. We can play our Cultivate and start getting mana sources that we actually want in play. We'll grab another island and a mountain. Actually, do we just grab double mountain here? That's tough. Let's look at our mana. We've got Shatter Skulls. Yeah, we've got a lot of red sources. Alright, well, definitely one mountain. Yeah, the only thing that the blue matters for is our Genesis Ultimatums, which we're a bit off from doing anything with right now. Let's go ahead and do double mountain. Also, not necessarily because of this matchup, but just something that I've been thinking about. The sideboard should definitely have Disdainful Strokes in it. Our opponent went on a foretelling spree. Draw a Glass Pole Mimic. It's not a bad one. Just an extra threat, but also it's another blue source if we need that. I won't be surprised to see our opponent's deck play Behold the Multiverse. Also could definitely play Saw It Coming. Castle Ardenville's a good one for making the tokens. They're a white short on that? Yeah. Opponent does nothing. Okay. Let's get Cast Goldspan Dragon, keeping up Negate. And bash for 4. So we do have to think a little bit here. If they Wrath us, are we negating? I think so. Force them to have a counter spell for that as well. We'll still have our treasure up. So we'd be a land short. Alron's Epiphany. Yeah, that's that's the easiest negate I've cast in quite a while. Do I have the mana to do this? Does this work? 2, 3, 4, 4. Yeah, that's cool. That's sick. I have way more than enough mana for that, actually. Okay, Brick. Oh, I just wanted to climb up my leg. We've got enough mana to just play this Ugin and bolt their face. And that'll be the game, the old 5-0. And that'll do it. So, definitely had a fun run with the deck. You know, always happy when you can go 5-0 even in one of these arena events. I did start recording this at the end of the month, and I hadn't been playing ladder, so I didn't really want to show a deck off in really low-rated. Yeah, there we go. Let's check our prizes out while we're here. I didn't want to show a deck off in really low-rated. Nice. I really like this card. Low-rated ladder. So I was happy to play through an event with it. Let me know what you guys think. If you like events, if you'd rather see ladder play for Magic videos, you know, kind of just what interests you overall. I really like doing these. I also feel like you're rewarded better as far as like building your collection out goes, because I don't have all of the cards on Arena. That's not really your guys' problem at all. So I can, you know, that's my wallet's problem. But it's not bad. I mean, to come out of here with 3 rares and 2,100 gold, you know, definitely like worth it if you can get the 5 wins. But, you know, definitely also something to be said for the competition at higher ladder ranks. But this is a cool way to, like, package, like, a deck video together, you know what I mean? You get all of your matches in one place, you play everything out, and you don't have these, like, little changes game to game with the deck. So I think it's cool. Let me know what you guys think and how you feel about the upload structure. I'm probably going to put this in... Let me just pull the deck back up here so you guys know. Wrong one. So you can see the deck again here. This is just what I played in the video. But definitely could make some edits to the deck going forward. There was a lot of mana in the deck, which, I mean, it is a ramp deck, but I'm not sure we need this much mainboard ramp even. Might be able to play a little more action. Epiphany, the card our opponent just played against, this is actually something that I was definitely thinking about including in the deck. But you have to kind of ride the line properly between being, like, really, really heavy and having enough gas and, you know, having enough cards to do something with, because as it stands, the only cards in our deck that give us more cards are, I mean, Genesis Ultimatum does, Beanstalk does double duty since it's a ramp spell and then a threat later in the game, and then, like, Llanowar Visionary draws us a card. For the sideboard, I definitely want to get some copies of Disdainful Stroke in here, just mess with the counter suite a little bit. Chinmar Arachnir kind of sucks even against rogues. Maybe this should be Phoenix of Ash. We can play 1 or 2 of those. I do like having the couple extra removal spells. Not sure if Scorching Dragonfire is better than Fire Prophecy, since we are kind of a a linear focus deck, but I like this. Mass Vandal can be a little bit hard to turn on, and I'm not sure if we care enough about the cards that it destroys. I do like that it gets Great Henge against the Roll and like Naya decks, or even Mono Green. Definitely think taking that card out can be worth the slots, so maybe that's something that should stay in, but some work to be done there, some things to think about in the main board. Really happy with the two new cards in our main that we played, the Frostbite and Goldspan Dragon. Both are really awesome cards. This is my favorite card in the set. No, go in the front. All right, fine. Fair enough. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think down below. I'm really happy with the way this deck performed. It's something that I've had a lot of fun playing and messing with, and definitely going to do some more Magic content. So let me know if there's anything you guys are interested. Thanks a ton for watching.